Talk about OP! Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Marvel characters too powerful for the MCU. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at characters so powerful that they would present too big a challenge for the heroes or villains of the MCU. A lot of extremely powerful characters have graced the screens for Marvel movies, but these are a cut above. Number 10. Mangog. As Thor Ragnarok proved, Odin has a few skeletons in his closet. Like a few billion. For reasons that have since been lost, Odin once wiped out an entire civilization. The collective rage and anger of this race then manifested in the form of this powerful creature that Odin had to imprison beneath Asgard. Much later, the creature escaped and became a major thorn in the side of the Asgardian heroes. But at least there's good news. Because the seemingly unstoppable beast draws power from negative emotions like anger, it can be shrunk by being deprived of them. You can beat him with smiles. A fun concept, sure, but not one suited for the MCU. Number 9. Wonder Man. This longtime Avenger has a troubled history and a pretty dangerous power set. A volatile combination as far as we're concerned. Originally planted on the team by Baron Zemo in a plot to bring the Avengers down from within, he instead turned good. Thanks to a dose of ionic energy, he was granted powers including strength and invulnerability, but his power levels grew until he was not only able to control ionic energy, but became made up of it. And when you're a being of pure energy, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Flight, force blasts, teleportation, and more are all in this hero's repertoire. Number 8. Death. There are characters in Marvel and even the Marvel Cinematic Universe who have a close relationship with death. From mass murderers like Thanos to the goddess of death herself, Hela, they definitely know a thing or two about ending lives. But if any character knows death inside and out, it's the personification of death itself. Being a living embodiment of a fundamental aspect of the universe, she's got the final say on everyone, from the strongest heroes and villains to even gods and goddesses. As they say, the only two constants are death and taxes. When the time comes, we're all forced to pay up. Number 7. Captain Universe. The Marvel Universe is a pretty chaotic place, despite the number of heroes and cosmic entities trying to keep things peaceful. But sometimes, things get so out of hand that the universe itself steps in, and it does so by empowering chosen individuals through the power of the Uniforce. These chosen few briefly take the name and mantle of Captain Universe, donning a starry costume and wielding the power to control all energy and matter. And given that matter and energy are basically all there is, that gives him incredible levels of power. The mantle has even been held by the likes of Spider-Man, the Silver Surfer, and Deadpool. Number 6. Onslaught. It's safe to say that Professor X and Magneto have many issues. So when Prof X briefly touched Magneto's mind, all that shared psychic turmoil gave birth to something truly awful. After a fleeting moment of psychic connectivity, a portion of Magneto's anger, hatred, and resentment towards humans infiltrated Charles's mind, leading to a split personality that eventually manifested as a hugely powerful psionic entity that basically looks like the Hulk in Magneto's wardrobe. Obviously, it would take a lot of time to lay the groundwork for this villain to take the stage, but his appearance would certainly present an overwhelming challenge for the MCU heroes thanks to his extreme power levels. Number 5. The Sentry. If you're gonna go around claiming to have the power of a million exploding suns, you better be able to back that up. Granted his powers by a super soldier serum intended to vastly outperform the one that created Captain America, this golden hero has the powers of flight, super strength, invulnerability, and the power to manipulate light. If the Marvel Universe ever needed an analog to another S-clad superhero, he's it. Well, either him or Hyperion. The Sentry was so powerful that when a darkened version of the hero appeared, an entity called the Void, the only way to contain the problem was to wipe all memory of him from existence. Number 4. Molecule Man. Though Owen Reese was originally granted his powers in a freak accident, it was later revealed that his ability to manipulate matter and energy was thanks to an experiment by the Beyonders, a race of powerful extra-dimensional beings. Beginning as a low-level supervillain, his powers eventually grew to the point where he was essentially a god, able to reshape reality as he saw fit and even create entire universes. Now that's the kind of power that would make even Thanos tremble, and look at how much trouble he caused for the MCU. Number 3. Mephisto. The heroes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe have fought men, gods, and monsters, but they might have a tougher time with the devil himself. An ancient demonic entity with vast powers and a penchant for meddling in the lives of mortals, this villain is for all intents and purposes the real, actual, literal devil. As such, he can do almost anything, from reshaping all of reality to taking various forms and virtually every other terrifying mystical ability you could think of. He's actually fed by the presence of evil, growing stronger depending on the levels of strife and turmoil in the world. We've got to give the devil his due. Number 2, the Beyonder. A being from outside reality as the Marvel heroes know it, this powerful being is a young member of a race with the innate ability to reshape reality. For the most part, the lives of normal beings are pretty beneath them, but this one in particular has taken a keen interest in the material world. Unfortunately, this means he'll often mess with reality just to amuse himself, which makes him a very large headache for the Marvel heroes. If this hugely powerful entity ever decided to visit the MCU, he'd be in a class all his own in terms of his levels of sheer power. Number 1, One Above All. While Marvel has been somewhat cagey about depicting figures like the Christian God, they've occasionally depicted an all-powerful entity responsible for the entirety of the Marvel multiverse. Oftentimes depicted as a blinding light or a luminous figure, this all-powerful being seems to be the be-all, end-all for all that is Marvel, outclassing even the incredibly powerful Living Tribunal. Appropriately enough, one memorable moment had him take a form very similar to dearly departed comics legend Jack Kirby for an adventure involving the FF. We feel like Marvel might only break this character out for the MCU's grand finale, but even then, his presence might be too much. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.